last year, of the money that we borrowed, 68% of it came from foreign sources. Those foreign sources are warning us that they're increasingly impatient with our inability or unwillingness to tackle this debt explosion. They would decide not to continue to loan us the money. We would then be in a very tough situation.
So if China, among other countries, are bankers, and China's a key partner for foreign policy, Joe, at some point it starts to feel like we lose choices on the domestic policy and the foreign policy front when you owe someone else so much money.
Right, you lose clout, you lose the ability to determine your own future, and you either got to raise taxes or you got to let your currency devalue. Something bad is going to happen. There was really no consensus in the green room on that question, but we did throw it around a bit.
Bill Bradley?
Well, China is the world's greatest saver. We're the world's greatest consumer. So they lend us money to buy their goods. They get jobs, we get debt. And the debt gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so if we want to control our own destiny, we're going to have to save more. And the quickest way you can save more is by reducing the federal budget deficit. And that's what the American people have to understand. Every time they pay taxes, their first place their tax dollar goes is not for defense or for health care or education. It goes to repay those lenders who've given us money over the years.
And my goodness, you point out something that just happened recently in the past week that shows how our fiscal relationship with China can also be very tied into our foreign policy relationship with China.
Absolutely. When we are that dependent on any one country for borrowing, they start to have more clout over other areas of our budget and our foreign policy even. Just this week, the White House said that it's going to postpone coming out with its document about currencies, where they would have to decide whether to say China is a currency manipulator. Most people think they are, but suddenly we don't want to be picking fights with somebody who we're very dependent on. And right now we have an economic situation of mutual unhealthy dependency. That's not what you want. You don't want us to be dependent on them for borrowing, and that's where they're putting all their savings. They need our currency to stay strong, but this is not two countries being strong. It's being dependent in an unhealthy way.
Jean Sahadi, since the whole financial crisis happened, you've been hearing a lot about global imbalances, fixing global imbalances. These big deficits we're looking. These are the global imbalances that have to be fixed.
That's right. Although I am a little bit curious what people on the panel think about those who say China cannot afford to mess with us in terms of our debt because they are dependent economically on us. And so if we're not going to be their consumers, what happens to them? So I'm a little curious how that's going to play out. That seems to be the other.
Well, there is a flip side to that. I mean, you know, sort of the adage that if you owe the bank a little, it owes you. But if you owe the bank a lot, you owe them.
Right.
So in this relationship, there is this codependency, but as you say, it's an unhealthy one.
All right, Amy Holmes, we're going to get to more of this as we continue to explore all of these angles. America's debt, it's not just some academic arm's-length economic problem. Our debt affects American living standards, and it hits families on a very personal level. Meet one family you might just relate to next.